Hello everyone, I welcome you all on this YouTube channel UPSClogy, and this is me Rahul, and today we are going to cover the Hindu analysis for your public administration optional, and we are going to cover the Hindu dated 16th of December 2020. Yesterday there was no analysis, the reason being that there was no article as such for your public administration. There was only one article on the editorial page which was about the Facebook and this aggression by the corporate sectors or corporate entities like Facebook or Google or Amazon or Apple. Okay, so that article, the day before yesterday I told you that you have to cover this article on the regular basis, so it was there in the editorial page, so I hope you must have gone through that particular article. Okay, so let's get started, and let's try to understand the important news article in the Hindu of 16th of December 2020. Apart from that, the magazine for the public administration current affairs, as you can see over here, this is the one-stop solution for your public administration current affairs of UPSC civil services examination. So this magazine is available, and you can basically download the magazine from the link given in the description box, and you can also opt for the subscription of 6 months and 12 months from the month of October itself, and the procedure and the Google form for the same is also given in the description box below. Okay, so you can check it out, and let's get started with the Hindu of 16th December. Okay, so the first important news article, you have to directly move on, or you have to jump to the page number, editorial page of the Hindu of Delhi edition. There you will get this one big lead article which is talking about PM Vani. Okay, PM Vani is something that is there in the news. So Prime Minister's this Wi-Fi access network interface. Okay, so this particular scenario is there, and the article is talking about this thing. So this article is relevant for your public administration paper 1, techniques of administrative reforms, where e-governance is one of the technique of administrative reform, and that's how you have to link this thing with e-governance. And in e-governance, this article is talking about from digital India to digital Bharat, and the inclusivity parameter is something that is considered as game changer in this article. The PM Vani consists of 3 important pillars, which are PDO, PDOA and the app developer. So just read and just go through this article and just try to understand this article from the syllabus perspective, and you will get to know that you can use this article, and UPSC might ask this specific question, or in any question with respect to e-governance or something like that, you should have some data, and this article will give you that data with respect to this you can say this idea of you can say e-governance. Okay, apart from that, how to link this thing. So basically there is no need to link, or there is no need to remember the linking as such with respect to these kind of topics. What you have to understand, let's say you are talking about PM Vani. Okay, let's say you are talking about the salient features of PM Vani, then ultimately what is the goal of this thing? It will bring digital India or digital Bharat idea in the picture. Okay, it would bring those things in place. So again, now here you have to link this thing with Woodrow Wilson and other thinkers who talks about the economy, efficiency, effectiveness. Similarly, this is the kind of science of administration where we are bringing the ideas of these you can say things. Okay, so in this way you can bring the ideas, and it depends on the feature which you are talking about. Okay, so in this way you can link. Okay, for example, you are talking about salient features. So in salient features, let's say there is a topic that okay, it would motivate, or it would bring inclusivity, or it would bring participation of the people in the governance process. For example, recently Green app was launched by Delhi government, in which the people can give their you can say input or feedback with respect to the pollution that is going on. Okay, let's say some illegal activity is going on that is creating pollution. So what the people can do, they can just file the complaint on the Green app of the government of New Delhi. So here this is the participation. Okay, and that participation is possible because of the internet, and PM1 type of things will help in that, and it would ultimately lead to participation, and participation is something that you can link with 4 to 5 to 6 thinkers. Okay, for example, Rance's Likert system 4, or you can say all the things are there. I am not going to repeat the things. If you are following this lecture series regularly, you must be knowing about the thing that what I am going to tell in the you can say in these dimensions. Okay, so this is how you have to understand. There is no logic, there is no, you can say, rocket science in linking. Linking is all about your thinking. Linking is thinking. Okay, there is nothing called people call it Rahul factor or something like that. There is nothing called special in it. Just try to feel empower and just try to do the linking and thinking. Okay, that's it. I hope you are getting. So this is PM Vani. Apart from that, in this editorial page, after this news article, on the next page, in the op-ed page, there is the article by one advocate, and that article is talking about law and disorder. This article is important because it is highlighting some of the issues of judiciary of India. I'm just keep this point in mind, that it is not talking about the all the issues, or exhaustive coverage is not there, but yes, some issues of judiciary of India are there, and you can basically read this article in order to get the idea of those hashtag some issues. Okay, so basically it is talking about the spending on judiciary. The spending of judiciary is less, and in example it is talking about this Legal Service Authority Act 1987. So this is the very, you can say, very good initiative or good phenomena, but the spending is not that high or that much, or it is not adequate. So writer is saying that it is in place, but the importance is not being given to this initiative called Legal Service Authority. And writer is also talking about this thing, that under the ambit of Legal Service Authority, all the vulnerable section like women or like SCs, STs, okay, all are coming. And UPSC in the prelims examination of 2020 has already asked this question. So you can imagine that in mains also they might ask this question in 2020 or 21 or 22. Okay, because this is in the, you can say, list of UPSC. Okay, so such type of topics become important because there is this penetration from prelims to mains is the habit, or UPSC has in the previous year there is the kind of trend where prelims के question वो mains में पूछ देते हैं 1-2 साल बाद, और mains वाले prelims में पूछ देते हैं. ठीक है, so these things automatically becomes important, so you have to read these things very carefully. Okay, so this is the first issue. Apart from that, it is also talking about the issue of this you can say judges and population ratio. So some facts are there. In USA, 100 judges per million population is there, and in UK the number is 50, in Canada the number is 75 per million, and but in India it is only 19. Okay, जब मैंने 2016-17 में इसको पढ़ा था तब ये 13 था. So 6 जज जो हैं वो बढ़ चुके हैं on a lighter note I am saying. But yes, in 2001 there was the case called All India Judges Association versus Union of India 2001, and in that Supreme Court case, the Supreme Court observe, or it give the order, it gives this order or decree that 50 judges per million population should be there. तो समझ जाओ 2001 में इतनी रिक्वायरमेंट बोली गई थी. और देयर इज ऑल्सो अ फैक्ट कि अगर अब बिल्कुल केस आने बंद हो जाए तो भी लगभग 300-350 साल, 300 to 350 years would be required to resolve, or to, you can say, to basically give the judgment in all the pending cases in the Supreme Court. So in the cases and all, so these are the things. So in this way you can talk about the problem of judges population ratio. ऐसे ही मेडिकल में भी है, 1 डॉक्टर शुड बी देयर इन 1000 पॉपुलेशन, लेकिन है कितना 1456 पीपल पर एक डॉक्टर है, जो मतलब 400 लोग एक्स्ट्रा में आ रहे हैं एक डॉक्टर के अंडर में, बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ डॉक्टर्स और लैक ऑफ मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज आर देयर. सिमिलरली नर्सेस के केस में है 1000 पॉपुलेशन पे 1.7 इतना नर्सेज होनी चाहिए, बट दैट थिंग इज ऑल्सो नॉट देयर. सो थिंग्स आर लाइक दिस, एंड यू कैन टॉक अबाउट दिस थिंग्स इन एवरी डायमेंशन, बी इट हेल्थ, एजुकेशन, टीचर्स, doctors. Okay, everywhere you will get this thing. Okay, apart from that, the third issue the writer is highlighting is about access to justice, and writer is saying that access to justice is not the fundamental right, but in the Anita Kushwaha versus Pushpa Sadan case of 2016, Supreme Court observed this thing that right to life is not about physical existence only. Just like Menaka Gandhi case, it said this thing that life is not about physical existence or physical presence only. It is all about dignified living, or dignified life includes access to justice as one of the components. So in this way you can quote this judgment as well. These are the two judgments. One is All India Judges Association versus Union of India, 50 जजेस का जो उन्होंने बोला है, और 2016 की ये वाली अनीता कुशवाहा वर्सेस पुष्पा सदन. You can quote these things. These are the unique things. Other things are like very, you can say, very general and very generic, and there is nothing called you can say very important point. But yes, you can read this article out. Apart from that, there are some other issues that I would like to highlight in this analysis itself, so that you have this entire problem or entire understanding of judicial problems in India. Okay, so I told you the judges number are very less, so strength of judges needs to be increased. Apart from that, access to justice, this national legal service act, this should be strengthened, and the quality and other things, the standard of the judges and all those things should be there. Apart from that, the access to justice should be treated in a better way. Next thing, you can talk about alternative dispute resolution. You can quote Justice Sri Krishna Committee on Alternative Dispute Resolution or something like that. It is not, you can say, in this context, but yes, you can talk about alternative dispute resolution, where you will get the ideas of negotiation, arbitration, negotiation, and all these things are there. Conciliation, I guess it is also there. So 4 components are there. You can quote this alternative dispute resolution. Even lokayuktas are also there. Okay, in your article, in your 6th schedule areas like Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram, in those areas there is a concept called village council. Similarly, Nyaya Panchayat is something that is there at the, you can say, in the subordinate judiciary. After, in this you can say subordinate judiciary thing, you have this lokayukta, not lokayukta, gram nyayalaya or nyayalaya panchayat, nyaya panchayat. So those kind of things are there, so you can mention them. And apart from that, modernization of courts is the another thing that we can do. This infrastructural issues can be there. For example, there can be the phenomena where, you can say, morning and evening sessions should be there. Okay, because basically the judiciary is same, but the problem is that 10 से 5 टाइम है, तो रात में कुछ नहीं है, मतलब वो खाली पड़ा रहता है वो जज का जो भी एरिया है. सो देयर माइट बी द शिफ्ट लाइक दिस. ओके, तो जैसे शिफ्ट बहुत जगह होती हैं, है ना, बहुत जगह डे नाइट ये सब होता है. सो दैट थिंग कैन बी डन इन द जुडिशरी इटसेल्फ. इवन कुछ स्टेट्स में ऐसा हुआ भी है, तो वैसा हमें नेशनल लेवल पर भी करने की ज़रूरत है. इसके अलावा जो फ्लिपेंट केसेस होते हैं, नॉन एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ द फ्लिपेंट केसेस और द पॉलिटिकल केसेस, जुडिशियल हाइजीनिटी शुड बी देयर. मींस जो फ्लिपेंट केसेस होते हैं, जो फालतू के केसेस हैं, है ना, पॉलिटिकल केसेस हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट शुड नॉट टेक दोज केस एट द प्रायोरिटी. ठीक है, सो दीज फ्लिपेंट पॉलिटिकल केसेस, इनमें टाइम वेस्ट होता रहता है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, there should not be the like counter stalling tactics जो यूज़ की जाती हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ यू हैव वॉच्ड द मूवी कॉल्ड जॉली LLB और जॉली LLB 2 फॉर दैट मैटर, you will find, or for that matter any movie, or if you have the experience of real courts and all, the advocates, if you have watched any movie with respect to advocates, you will find that they have this tendency to use these tactics. Okay, for example, they would you can say try to you can say bring the kind of delay in the judgment. Okay, कुछ भी वो कर देंगे, like वो अनशन पे बैठ जाते थे, और these things you have seen in the movies and all, or something like that. Okay, they try to, you can say, वो तारीख पे तारीख. It is not only because of the judiciary or judicial mechanism, it is also the advocates are also responsible. Okay, with due respect, I am just giving you the perspective that these things are also the part of the, you can say, process. कि चलो तारीख मिल जाएगी, अभी हमारे पास गवाह नहीं है हैं थोड़ी तारीख या तारीख ले लेंगे. So that thing is also there. Judicial tactics are like this and they try to bring those dimensions and those you can say loopholes into picture and this should not be there. एक तो वैसे ही स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है और अगर वो स्ट्रेंथ काम भी कर रही है, वैसे भी बहुत काम करते हैं जजेस, बट एट द सेम टाइम दैट दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर ऑल्सो देयर. सो दिस तारीख पर तारीख, these things should not be there. Medical emergency and the emergency judicial you can say things should be there. Apart from that, overhaul of archaic, this judicial scavenging, judicial scavenging should be there. Judicial scavenging basically means that there are many old laws, means there was the committee committee by the honorable Supreme Court or by government of India. I am just unable to recall that in 2015 when Modi 1.0 government came into picture. So that government formed that specific committee and that committee highlight that there are around 1700 plus outdated laws and regulation in our country, including the laws of IPC and all, and we have to remove them from the things. Okay, for example, the most popular example is article this section 377 of IPC. Okay, these are outdated things like decriminalization of LGBT community and etc things. So basically we have to bring the judicial scavenging. जो फालतू की चीज़ है उनको हटा दो. फालतू में मतलब ये what is this 1 rupee फाइन. ओके, 1 rupee फाइन इज समथिंग दैट वाज रेलिवेंट इन 1860 आईपीसी में जब बना था. ठीक है, इन 1860s यू कैन इमेजिन 1 रुपये में 1 किलो घी आता था. मतलब if you talk to your grandparents or someone like this, you will find out this thing कि 1 रुपये में 2-3 किलो घी आ जाता था. मतलब nowadays you can just imagine 500 1000 like these rupees are nothing, but at that point of time the you can say inflation was not that high. So things are like this, and today if we have these kind of provision, you can understand at the broader picture, you can imagine the broader picture. So this judicial scavenging is something that is the need that you should mention in your answer. Judicial scavenging should be there. Overhaul of archaic laws, and this can be called as the judicial scavenging. Judicial scavenging लेके आओ, judicial hygiene लेकर आओ. जो ये being human और ये तारीख पे तारीख मतलब there is a kind of अपील mechanism. ओके, अपील करते रहो एक से ऊपर एक, ये सब चीज़ें this thing should not be there. सीधा सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भेज दो ना अगर इतना ही वो अपील का mechanism चला नहीं है. ठीक है, so these things should be there. Apart from that, CGI just like DGP in Prakash Singh judgment, it talks about 2 years minimum tenure of the you can say DGP and other high personal or personal people or the officers. Similarly, there can be the rule that CGI should be appointed for at least 2 years. ठीक है, ये 6 महीने के लिए मतलब बना दिए जाते हैं with the due respect to the honorable all the chief justices, honorable chief justices of India. So ये 5-6 महीने में they would वो समझने में टाइम लग जाता है ना कहीं पे भी आप काम करोगे. So it would means they would take that time to understand the nitty-gritties of the process, और जैसे ही उन्हें प्रोसेस समझ में आएगा उनका कार्यकाल खत्म हो जाएगा. तो वो सोचते हैं यार क्या ही फालतू में अपना नाम खराब करो, तो वो आराम से फिर टाइम काटते हैं. ठीक है, सो यू कैन जस्ट इमेजिन दिस इज द ह्यूमन नेचर, नो. सो दैट्स व्हाई यू कैन जस्ट मेंशन दिस थिंग दैट यस 2 years etc should be there. E-court digitalization, although government is doing all these things, judiciary is basically improving digitization, virtual courts, virtual hearing, all these things are going on. Just we have to add on all those things. Apart from that, there the big cases should directly go to the Supreme Court. जब हमें पता है कि being human का केस, ह्यूमन बीइंग का केस की बात नहीं हो रही, बीइंग ह्यूमन का केस जो है, वी नो दिस थिंग, बीइंग ह्यूमन का केस अभी छोटे कोर्ट में जाएगा, फिर इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट में जाएगा, फिर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाएगा, फिर उसके बाद आर्टिकल 137 के तहत उसमें रिव्यू पेटिशन भी आती जाएगी, फिर उसके बाद रिव्यू पेटिशन के बाद एक क्यूरेटिव पेटिशन. सो थिंग्स आर लाइक दिस. ओके, आई होप यू आर गेटिंग. फिर क्यूरेटिव के बाद भी आर्टिकल 72 ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, अगर यहाँ तक सजाएं सुनते चले गए तो फिर आर्टिकल 72 ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वेयर प्रेसिडेंट हैव द पावर टू दिस पार्डन, रेस्पाइट, रेप्राइव, दिस remission or all those things. So that thing will also came into picture. So you can just imagine the situation, the process, very cumbersome process. So ऐसे big cases को जब पता है वो ऐसे आइडिया चलता रहेगा, डायरेक्टली सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भेज दो, डायरेक्टली जजमेंट मिले, so that वो अपील वाला जो टाइम वगैरह ये लोग लेके आराम से 50 50-60 साल, तब तक फिर पता चला केस चल ही रहा है और लोग चले भी गए, ठीक है. सो दैट थिंग इज देयर, सो ट्राई टू ब्रिंग दैट डायमेंशन एज वेल. Apart from that, mission mode work should be there, which is already going on. Apart from that, lawyer to give pre-litigation service and start pro bono advocacy. So pro bono advocacy means legal service authority का जो हमने dimension इस article के तहत देखा था, we have seen that dimension in the article with respect to this legal service authority. That thing can be called as the pro bono advocacy, ठीक है. pro bono advocacy should be there, and these are the things, these are the different dimensions that can be brought over here. Apart from that, you can also quote the 229th Law Commission report recommendation, and this 229th Law Commission recommendation, the report, Law Commission report 229. So it talks about cassation benches, means there should be more benches of Supreme Court. Just try to remember this thing, because as of now there is only one Supreme Court. The Article 130 of the Indian Constitution talks about what? It talks about the seat of the Supreme Court, and as of now the seat of the Supreme Court is in New Delhi. So that thing can be changed, okay, that can be changed by the Chief Justice of India. So there is a need to have some more benches, means decentralization should be there, so that we can have more, you can say the speed can be increased, so that mission mode thing can be brought about. Apart from that, there is one more idea called All India Judicial Service. All India Judicial Service should be there. All India Judicial Service is nothing but it is like All India Service, means in our constitution the Rajya Sabha has the power to pass the bill in order to bring any new All India Service. So All India Judicial Service should be there, okay. This is another dimension, another recommendation of the committees, etc., that you can quote. Apart from that, this government is basically many things are there, like for example many things are there that should be resolve, or that should be under the ambit of executive. But executive, what executive is doing, it is transferring those populist cases to the Supreme Court, okay. तो Supreme Court को काम करने को दे देते हैं, फिर क्या होता है, जो वोट वाली टेंशन खत्म हो जाती है. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से हाईवे के आसपास वाली एक जजमेंट आई थी दैट वहाँ पे शराब बैन, ठीक है. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स वेयर अगर सरकार करेगी तो फिर लोग कहेंगे अच्छा बेटा तुमने शराब बंद करवाई थी, तुमने दारू बंद करवा रही थी हमारी, है ना, समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो लोग जो है ना वो नाराज़ हो जाएंगे, और नाराज़ हो जाएंगे तो जब वोट मांगने जाओगे तो वो नेताओं को वोट नहीं देंगे, क्योंकि वो उन्हें याद होगा कि यार हमारी दारू बंद कर दी इन लोग ने. सो what happen is that the executive जो है वो अपना काम जुडिशरी को डाल देता है, और जुडिशरी फिर ऐसे ऑर्डर्स देती है, फिर जुडिशियल एक्टिविज्म आता है, एंड दैट जुडिशियल एक्टिविज्म फर्दर क्रिएट्स द प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज if judiciary would listen to these executive वाली things, what about those judiciary वाली things, है ना. वो judiciary का अपना काम छोड़ के वो executive वाले कामों को help कर रही होती है, या उन चीज़ों को solve कर रही होती है. So that thing is there. तो there are many things like triple talaq is something that was there, okay. तो उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जजमेंट सुनाई, फिर एग्जीक्यूटिव बना रहा है. एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्ट पहले से नहीं बना सकता था, बट बिकॉज ऑफ पॉपुलिज्म तो फिर क्या होता है, वो कहने के लिए हो जाता है कि कोर्ट ने कहा था इसलिए हमें करना ही पड़ा. सिमिलरली विशाखा गाइडलाइंस एक्सेट्रास, ओके, दोज थिंग्स. विशाखा गाइडलाइन, दैट थिंग दैट इज रेप्लिकेटेड. कावेरी इशूज, वाटर डिस्प्यूट्स, ऑल दीज थिंग्स. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट द थिंग्स लाइक नीट. तो नीट जो पहली बार जब नीट आया था ना, तो वो नीट सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कहने पर आया हुआ था, ठीक है. तो पहली बार जो नीट वगैरह ये सब हुआ था, बाद में फिर उसको रेशनलाइज वगैरह किया गया. लिकर बैन जो हुआ था स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हाईवे पे, या जो ये जो होते हैं ना जो व्हीकल, देयर आर प्रोविजंस लाइक 15 साल से पुराने व्हीकल जो होंगे, 20 साल पुराने व्हीकल होंगे, उनको रोड से हटाना है ना. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स ये सब सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आती हैं, है ना. ये सब चीज़ें जो हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आती हैं. आधार लिंक करना है, क्योंकि लोगों को परेशानी होगी तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को डाल देते हैं कि कोर्ट माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है, ठीक है. एग्जीक्यूटिव वाले जो नेता होते हैं वो बच जाते हैं, ठीक है, जनता के कहर से, क्योंकि कोर्ट ने कहा है. अब कोर्ट के जुडिशरी वाले मेंबर थोड़ी ना वोट मांगने आएंगे जो अच्छा आपने कहा था, आपको वोट नहीं देंगे. वो तो अपनी वहाँ पे अपनी कैपेसिटी और अपनी कैपेबिलिटी की वजह से हैं, ठीक है. तो that thing is there. So just try to mention all these dimensions in your answers, and justice delay is justice denied. You can use this insofar as the you can say conclusion is concerned. So these are the things, and I hope you are getting all the points. Okay, so this is all about today's the Hindu analysis. I hope you are getting all the points with respect to judiciary, and just try to divide this just try to listen it very carefully and divide. If you are not going to buy the magazine of public administration current affairs PubAdPedia, then you can just note down all these dimensions. You can add your points as well, and this would be the comprehensive coverage of judiciary and the problems, the issues, the solution, all the things with respect to judiciary. And don't forget to mention or don't forget to remember those keywords like judicial scavenging, judicial hygienity, etc. यही चीज़ें तो एग्जाम में याद आती हैं. थैंक यू सो मच एंड हैव अ नाइस डे.